Hey, so in this video I'm going to talk to you about the main sales chart on Buybot Pro, which can be found by scrolling down here, and it's the first one that we meet. Now this chart is amazing because it's going to give us a real in-depth history, if you like, of what has been going on with this item over the course of time. Now everything in this chart is color-coded based on the key to the right here. So this purple line that I'm currently on right now, that is the fulfilled by Amazon price. Orange is the Amazon price. The blue line, that is the lowest new price of the item. The lighter blue squares, that's the fulfilled by merchant price. The green line is the bestseller rank. And the pink diamonds, that is the buy box price. And then we've got the toggle at the bottom to determine whether or not we have the sales heat map on screen. And we can change the time period that we look at this information for. So currently it's on 90 days, but we can change that to 7, 30, obviously 90, 180, 360, or for all time. So the point when the item was first listed. As I move along the chart, it's going to give me a pop-up box which shows me exactly what has been going on with this item at that point in time. It gives me a date, a time, and all of the relevant information. Now, if this is too much to take in all at once, or we're only interested in certain parts of the chart, we can toggle any of these points off here. So let's say we're not interested in FBM, and we'll look at the BSR a little bit later on. It just tidies it up a little bit. For Amazon, we can see where it's got this orange filled in block underneath the Amazon line. That is when Amazon have been in stock. And when they haven't been in stock, that's where it's white. That's where that filled in orange colour is no longer there. So they're out of stock. We can also see as well what type of seller has had the buy box exactly. So we can see that a lot of the points, a lot of the Amazon points is where the buy box also lines up as well. And we can also see that the lowest new line also lines up with Amazon too. So it looks like that they've set the lowest new price, and where it lines up here with the buy box as well, that's when they have won that buy box and most likely made sales for that item. If we toggle on FBM, when they've been out of stock, you can just about see it here where the light blue boxes are hidden behind the buy box. So we can be certain at these points in time when Amazon have no longer had any stock, it's a FBM seller that has made those sales. Let's turn all of that back on. Where we have a period where it's really tight and swiggly, we're like, whoa, what's been going on there? And we can't quite see. We can click and drag and it zooms in to that point. And we can, obviously we can go along just the same as before, and we can see what was going on in that time period. Let's reset that. Let's go on to the BSR. So the BSR, that's the bestseller rank. Let's say there is 500,000 items within the toys and games category. The BSR shows us how well that this item is doing within the category. So as I say, there's 500,000 items. The item that is at number 500,000 is the worst. It barely sells at all. It's not very popular. Whereas the item that is at number 1 is the best item within that category. It sells a lot and is consistently popular. So the closer to 1 we get, the better. The lower the number, the better. So if we look at the BSR line, the closer it is to the bottom of the graph, the chart, the better the item is doing. So we can also see where items had dips as well. So like here, for example, it went from around 700 and fell down to 3,000, which, say there was 500,000 items, this is not the worst thing in the world. The item is still doing pretty good. And it did climb back up again to being quite popular here as well. So 160, 40, this item went to be really popular. It sold quite well. And all of this information is reflected in the sales heat map as well. So the redder this bar is, the better. That's a summary of it. So the BSR line, for every time it jolts up and down, that's at least one sale. Probably might be more than that, but it's at least one sale. So we can see here where it had a period where that squiggle is really tight. It's jolted up and down quite a lot within a short space of time. We can be sure that at this time period, this point in time, there was a period of really intense sales. And that's also reflected in the sales heat map, just to simplify things. So this darker patch, that just reflects that really intense sell period. And obviously where it's had this sort of drop here, gone down to 5,000, it's a bit more orangey in the sales heat map. So therefore has not been selling as well as it could have done. So that's the BSR. We can sort of see the lowest point it's fallen and also the highest as well. Obviously, if it's all the way up here throughout, then, you know, it's not doing as well as it should. Sometimes we might also see that there are multiple instances of the same thing at the same point in time. So we can see here that there are 4 instances of the buy box. So if we go onto this and we get that pop-up box that we have right now, we can see that throughout in the same short period of time, we can see that the buy box price has changed, and it gives us the times when it changed exactly. So we can see, again, in depth exactly what has been going on. It can also help us judge as well if an item is seasonal. So let's go to 360. This is the course of a year. I mean, just at a glance, this item remains fairly popular throughout the year, but say it was a product that did particularly well around Christmas, we can expect a lot of information to appear in this window from October through to December. So where it's, say, like really squiggly here, if that was in October through to December, where a lot was going on with this item, there's a lot of competition, a lot of changes, and the BSR was quite low as well, for that time period, we would know that that item is a seasonal product. And say if the BSR was a higher number, therefore wasn't doing so well, and not much was going on throughout the rest of the year, then again, it just reinforces the fact that the item would be a seasonal product. But as I say, for this one in particular, this example, it remains fairly popular throughout the year. Let's take a look at a chart where an item isn't doing so well. It's this one here. There's no FBA price, because as we can see from the competition analysis, only Amazon and a merchant fulfilled seller are on this listing. So there's no FBA. And we can see here, let's look at the BSR line. So it started off okay, but overall this line has spiraled upwards. So this item is not doing very well at all, and that is reflected in the sales heat map as well. So we've got big chunks of white there where the item hasn't really been selling at all, or barely selling. So it's not been doing very well. We can also see here that between the merchant fulfilled seller and Amazon, it's been Amazon that have been getting the buy box for this item as well. So we might think to give this item a miss, for example, and that's something that the sales chart can help us with. Let's look at the offers and reviews chart. We can see the new offer count, the review count, and the rating, and obviously these are all color coded again. So the review count, this is how many reviews that the item has got, and we can see for this one it's steadily grown upwards. So that's a good sign there. We can see the rating, so Amazon customers will rate the item out of 5 stars, and we can see that this one is at 4.9 throughout. That's not dipped at all. So again, it just reinforces how popular an item is. And the new offer count is how many sellers are coming onto this listing. We want this line to remain fairly steady because it shows that there is still interest in this item. It shows that people are still coming onto it, that it's not a loss if they were to come onto it, it's still worth it. So we can see here it does remain fairly steady with points where more sellers do come onto it, but it seems to be that the lowest is about 20 and the highest is 40. So overall, this line is fairly steady, so we know that this item is most likely worth it, and everything else in the charts and on BuyBot Pro also reinforces this fact. And then we've got the main and subcategory BSR values. I cover this in another video, but just very, very, very quickly, this is your BSR line again, and then within every category you've got a subcategory as well, so it gives you a real in-depth view into how well this item has been selling. So within toys and games, this item is also in building sets as well, and that's this purple line here. We can see that it's been doing really well within building sets too. So it gives us a real in-depth view as to how well the item has been doing. So all of this information is incredibly useful, and I hope you enjoy the main sales chart as much as we do. So that is the main sales chart in Buybot Pro. I hope you can see how useful it is, and I'll see you in the next video.